G'day guys, welcome back to Beers and Breakevens. If you are on YouTube, you might notice something a little bit different. You might be thinking, wow, Guru's in so much trouble that he's going back to the scene of the crime where he went back to back. We're here at Bloke in a Bar where we had our first ever episode. How many years ago was that? How many have I got? 3.5. Yeah, 3.5 years ago. Feels like longer than that. I feel like I've been putting up with your shit for a long time.
I was wondering how long it was going to take you to wrangle in that back-to-back last time we were here, and it was a total of about 4.5 seconds by my count.
Yeah, shout out to those who took the unders. You won that one. It's good to be back. It's good to see someone half-decent looking finally sitting in this chair. Shout out to Spy and Kempy. Just carrying the torch.
It is, mate. It is an upgrade, I'd have to say.
Thank you.
But yeah, back in the old haunts, Bloke Studios. I mean, spend half my life here as it is, but only a quarter of it's with you.
Now, shout out to our OG Beers and Breakevens listeners that would have been here for the original ones. Good to have you again. And on debut in Bloke Studios behind the mic, we've got the one and only Haddad Comicat. Welcome in.
Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here at the Bloke Studios. I've only ever been a visitor, and now I'm here on the panel trying to make sense of Matty the Waterboy's setup here, but I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah, you're playing the piano back there, or what?
I am. There is a bit of piano action going on here with these
happening.
1s, 2s, 3s, 6, 7s.
I don't like how far away you are.
Yeah, it is far.
Heaps far.
I mean, I actually prefer it, but anyway.
That's a bit shit, but that's fine.
Speaking of one of the great upgrades, Matty the Waterboy to Cap, but he's meticulous in what he does, Matty the Waterboy. While it may not come across as it, you come in here and just, you know, you're scared setting it up for Beers and Breakevens and touching all these little things because he's good at what he does, Matty, but it's everything's to plan.
Let me tell you from someone that's inside the four walls, Matty is the most underrated person in rugby league socials. And I will not hear anything else. Yeah. It is, you're the most underappreciated guy in rugby league.
I'll challenge that with, I think he's just becoming more rated every week. Like, people rate him. Do you know what I mean?
They do, but they don't see the stuff that you see.
Oh,
true. They don't see the hours. They don't see the mate. He's
the backbone, right?
He's the bones. The rest of us are just fucking filling space. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
I don't like the guy, but he's a wizard.
Where the cartilage, he's every bone in the body.
I like it.
And I essentially owe what I know to Matty the Waterboy.
To H2O.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Lontel. They're back. Their first time in the studio as sponsors of Beers and Breakevens, doing great things. As always, guys, the link is in the description. Go check them out. Free internet for a week when you sign up there. They don't take your details. They don't take anything, no dodgy business. I had 2 mates sign up this week, and I haven't seen them since. So I imagine they're busy little beavers, Timbo. I don't know what they're up to.
They've been getting through a bit. And actually, recording from Bloke Studio, if there's any delays, if the upload's slow, any of that, Lontel, I think it's getting put in, but it's not in yet. So that's why.
Yeah, that would explain it. Now, you might be asking at home, why are you in a different studio? You also might not give a fuck, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Bit of drilling going on next door to the CBA Centre of Excellence. I think they're putting in a bronze statue of me or something. So hopefully we'll be back there next week. I had a very confusing conversation tonight that I don't want to have again. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back in there this week. But good to come back to the old digs. Now, how'd you go on the weekend? What happened? Talk to me.
Not great. 3 weeks in a row. Red arrows. Filthy roo. There was heaps of wheels on my truck 3 weeks ago. And here's not a hot take, just a disclaimer, not heaps of wheels left. They're coming off.
You're running short on wheels. There's a couple of cars dodging wheels behind you. Yeah. My car in particular.
They're retrievable.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't gone so far off the road that I'm never getting them back, but they are off.
They're definitely off.
I scored 1,202 points. I dropped another 900 points. Dropped 3,000 spots in 3 weeks from 700th to 3,600th. So,
Yeah, look, I've been begging for a bed shit from you, and I've seen a few of them this week.
I've given you 3.
And I'm 7,000 spots behind you. Yeah. So I haven't really grabbed it by the balls. A couple of my captain plays haven't quite paid off. Shout out to you, Zach Lomax.
The beauty is, because there was such a big gap, and now I've given you a window, 3 weeks, in fact, of windows to claw back. Should I go on and claim this maiden Beers and Breakevens stallion, you know, you can't say, oh, you just had me from early and could, like, I gave you opportunities. So now, like that, the narrative's already starting to turn.
Yeah, if you win it.
That's
Huge if. One of the great ifs of all time.
I agree.
That if's bigger than those tyres that are coming off that I'm dodging on the road.
To be fair, you should be ahead of me by now. You should have taken these opportunities and you should be leading this competition. Yet, you're still, 7,000 spots behind me.
Yeah. I like to set up for the grandstand finish, though.
What are you, 10K?
I am 10,404. I reckon we've almost...
Still 5-digit.
Yes, yeah. I reckon I've gone up at the exact same rate you've gone down, essentially. Yeah. Not been able to crack into the top 10,000 yet. Took a few gambles. Took one on the weekend. Scored 1,272. Traded in Zach Lomax. Put the C on him. Didn't see any balls. Scored 62, so it didn't cost me. But, geez, a meat pie in there would have been lovely.
Yeah, it didn't cost you because none of the captains went overly well. Terrell May was very popular. He scored 78. There are a handful on Nathan Cleary, 87. Pappenhausen was obviously the big one. A lot went Pappy into Terrell. No one could loot Pappy because he scored 63. Those wet conditions on the Gold Coast. So, I shouldn't say you dodged a bullet, but it was a bold play. It
was a bold play. I'm here for bold plays, and if I'm going to catch you, I'm going to have to make some bold plays. I thought that was a good opportunity to take. But can't win them all. I haven't won many of them. But I plan to win some in the future. I think there's some coming.
We have time.
We've got time. Nothing but time. Mandu, how'd you go on the weekend? What's doing?
I actually just had a question about your team. What trade did you make to get Lomax?
Hold on. We'll get there, okay? We will get there. Yeah. Tell me how you went first and then shit on me. Give it to me. Fine. How'd you go?
1-2-5-2.
Yes.
So nice. I did all right. I saw green, which was a nice change from the last few weeks. Still in the 30,000th region, but the trajectory is positive. Traded in Keon.
Yes.
He played very well. He scored very well. Kind of wish I'd captained him.
If you didn't trade in Keon last week, you're a moron.
Yeah. Well, probably I'm not a moron, am I?
Probably don't want to be around you. Who else traded?
And then I did Connor Tracy to Dylan Lucas. I had to get on the Lucas train.
Now, there's two ways we can go about this.
Yeah.
I can hand you the mic and you can spray the living shit out of me and I sit here quietly and I wear it, or I open with an apology. I'm going to let you choose which avenue we take here.
I just want to know why there's one rule for you and one rule for everyone else.
That wasn't one of the avenues and I hate it.
Not angry.
Nah.
Very disappointed.
Very disappointed. She's put the Jodie Durkin on me and it's
all there is to it.
I hate
no
that.
anger in this studio. There's a lot of disappointment.
Okay, on the back of that, I'm going to go down the apology route because I'm not going down the guilt trip route. I'll tell you that much for free right now. I gave Kat a lot of stick last week for trading out Connor Tracy. I thought we were blood brothers. We were in this together. And I did trade him out. So, Kat, I sincerely apologise to you. A lot of people in the comments sticking up for you last week, which I thought was a bit lame, if I'm completely honest. But I'm in the wrong. I apologise.
Apology accepted.
Do I get an apology? You dog me as well.
I don't like you. I need her.
Now
you just exist around me. Okay?
Poor Timmy's alone
if I was
on
in
the
front,
continent.
maybe things would change, but not right now. You're anyway. I'm showing the ticket that Queensland should have. I'm showing a bit of fuck you.
Yeah, right.
How are you feeling about being the only one on the
pick and stick going on at you or the Maroons? There's a bit more Maroon in you than I thought, Guru,
Timmy,
which is very disappointing.
How do you feel being the only one on the Connor Tracy train now?
Awful, because I just thought, like, for all the stick gets thrown on this podcast, it's like a ride or die together with that. The one time we unite and then you both just bail on me. And I just don't feel good about it. I feel less good about it because I don't really want him in my team either, but he's still there.
It's funny because I thought you were the odds-on favourite to sell him first last week. I walked away from that thinking there's no way he survived your team. I thought he might mine. But anyway, as it is.
Yes.
Shall we proceed?
I mean, good for content, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, actually it was good for content.
Terrible for my ticker moving forward, but
yeah,
look, that's right. I have faith in Connor.
All right, let's get stuck into Team List Tuesday for this week. Round 14, Knights Manly 97 grand final replay. Thursday night, 7:50 p.m, McDonald Jones Stadium for the Knights. KP returns at fullback. Brodie Jones playing as a front rower. Marciu's coming off the extended there. Hopefully he comes into the side. For Manly, Gerbo returns at 13. Jazz goes to the bench. Fucks my draft team. Anything else to touch on there, friendo?
Oh, you're Jazz.
Yep, got heaps of Jazz.
Manly, they love their Jake Trbojevic, don't they? Jazz has been, I mean, I'm just going to repeat everything that you know. He's been killing it. Manly, big win on the weekend. It's like, no, let's bench him.
Let's bench him. Storm Cowboys, Friday, 6 p.m. This one's coming here from Amy
Oh,
Park.
you missed one at Manly.
What did I miss?
Your fullback you brought a couple of weeks goes out again.
Oh, yeah, Turbo's out again. Fuck me, right? Will we touch on that? Actually, let's save it because it'll come into calculations later. So give you the hot tip. It's coming into
I
calculations.
changed Guru's trades and the show hadn't even started.
Yeah, I'm going to coward punch, pick and stick. For the Melbourne Storm, Harry Grant comes in. Wishy, Garlic, Tui, Nass on the bench. Cowboys, Sam McIntyre at prop. Harry Grant in. Enormous for people that own the entire Melbourne Storm spine just quietly and that look like you.
I don't have all of them. I have 3 of them and want the other one.
Well, still, I'd rather them with Harry Grant in.
Oh, yeah, it is so much better.
It's enormous.
Yeah. He, I think we spoke about it on the Bloke podcast, but the way he gets out, and honestly, even more so Jerome Hughes than Cam Munster, he just pushes up and just plays off him. He creates not everything, but a hell of a lot of it, as we saw. So, great news.
Bit of wet weather down there, you told me before.
Potentially a little bit showery, which if he buckets down 2 weeks in a row for Jerome Hughes, at least I'll have an excuse when he scores 32 again.
We'll get to that. We will get to that. We will get to that.
Friday,
okay?
showers increasing. 0 to 5 mils, so it's light.
I grew up at a place with traffic lights. I don't know what that means.
It means, as it stands, the showers would be light and not of major concern.
Okay, sweet. Friday, 8 p.m. Did you like that accountability, by the way?
It's good.
Yeah.
Thanks.
City kid, country values. That's me. Friday, 8 p.m. Dolphins, Dragons, Suncorp Stadium. For the Finns, Hamiso at fullback, Keeley on an edge, Ray Stone at 13, JMK and Plath on the extended. For the Dragons, Lawson replaces Stone, Couchman on the edge. Just on the Dolphins, I went for a walk this morning. I saw a pod of Dolphins. There was about 8 of them. I thought it was a good omen for this weekend. I'll probably be betting accordingly.
Did it get you excited to pull, you saw a pod of Dolphins and be like, do I Fine Fuiaki or do I Felice Kafusi or something?
Do I get weird?
Yeah, because that's one of the great signs.
It is, yeah, and I'll be. It'll be in my bets this week. The big news there, though, mate, Lawson, bottom dollar, played the one game. What did he score? 50-odd or something like that, I think?
Yeah, 50-odd.
Did all right. Replaces Sloan on the right edge. Not the wing you want to be on for the Red V, but just good to be in the side at that price.
So, sorry, will he definitely be right wing?
I assumed he would be, but...
Never know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I assume, he played left on the weekend, yeah?
Played left on the weekend. Who's the other winger that's been named?
Tui Pelotto's back.
Yeah, I reckon he'll play right, Lawson. I reckon they'll play Tui Pelotto on the left. You don't think so?
I would assume Tui Pelotto left just because he had success there earlier, but there are a lot of players who just playing the opposite, to state the obvious, playing the other side of the field suits. And I mean, look at Val Holmes, who's just very much a left edge player and is stronger there. So not necessarily.
I would suggest Lawson coming from Sevens rugby. I reckon he'll be able to handle himself anywhere. I think Tui Pelotto, I've only seen him play on the left.
I think Tui Pelotto will be left, but yeah. If Lawson was left, that'd be...
It changes everything. Changes the conversation.
I tell you what it does is... I think he's going to be a great buy next week anyway. I wouldn't go early this week because there will be no price change, but he becomes a lot more playable on the left wing.
Yes, for sure. 100%. Yeah.
Well, should be shitting bricks on the right.
Yes, you would be.
You missed one before as well.
What I missed? Jesus Christ, what did I miss?
No Murray Taulagi back, which is substantial for who?
Robert Darby.
Someone
Zach
else.
Laver. I don't know. Who are we talking about?
I thought you nearly had it there. Rob Toyer. State of Origin.
Yes. No, I wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Most traded player, Rob Toyer, this week. I have him in my team, and I was thinking, all right, with Murray Taulagi, he was meant to be back this week. He's obviously not. Comes into the Origin frame, gets picked for the Maroons because he's a gun. Someone drops out. Probably Rob Toyer, not necessarily, but probably. Not saying he deserves it because he was actually quite good in Origin 1, but would have given us a number for round 15. But now that no Murray Taulagi is there, Rob Toyer will likely play Origin, which means he's a sell.
I got to tell you, I was so far from thinking down that line. Genuinely, I think Matt Singh would have got a shout from me at the Cowboys before I would have said Rob Toyer there. I was not thinking down that line at all. Braden Burns was almost coming to mind then. Yes, great point, Timmy. Rob Toyer's getting traded in my side this week, so he's kind of dead to me, but good point.
He's heaps dead now, though.
Yes, Saturday, 5:30, Sharks, Warriors out there at Shark Park. For the Sharks, Katoa's on the wing, Wilton on the edge. For the Wires, a few changes. Berry's out, Capewell goes to the centres, Lecker is on the edge. Ford jumps into the front row rotation with Barnett. Sorry, for Barnett. What do you want to talk about there? Anything to touch on?
Nothing. I've got a bit of Wires pack action in my stat deep dive, so we'll get to that later.
Which names?
One of your boys, Jay Ford.
Oh, lovely. He's doing good things at the moment, Ford. As soon as you compliment him, he's going to have 3 errors this weekend, though. Saturday,
no worries.
Saturday, 7:35, Broncos, Titans, Suncorp. For the Bronx, Reece Walsh returns, Paddy Carrigan back to 13, Jensen at prop, Piakura on the edge, Takura comes off the bench. For the Titans, Fitzgibbon on the wing, no Jojo Fafita, Mulaney's at 9 with no... I've completely shot a blank on Verrills. Jesus Christ. No Sam Verrills. And AJ Brimson, he's on the extended. I believe AJ Brimson's going to feature this weekend. So we'll keep an eye on that. But anything you want to touch on with the Broncos there, mate? Broncos Titans?
No, nothing too substantial, mate.
I like Carrigan back to 13 for the Broncos stocks. I don't know how much it changes, but I like it.
It's funny because I like him and I think he suits playing just as a big minute front row, but the Broncos just do not have another 13, so
yep, they need him.
Yeah.
Sunday, 2 p.m, Raiders, Rabbitohs. For the Raiders, Tommy Starling returns, Owen Goat, Paddy to 14. Fogarty's been named. I'm not buying it, Timber. Buy next week. If it's a groin injury, do you risk him?
No. Why the hell would you?
I think it's bizarre.
Obviously, even if he was running fine and free, the way the Raiders are going, like the way Sanders stepped up, went well last week. I know the Bunnies have players back, but the Raiders have to back themselves to win this game. And Jamal Fogarty, if he plays and that does worse damage to that groin, like that's like potentially premiership credentials gone type material. So why with the bye next week?
Someone messaged me this afternoon, the only thing I've heard that makes sense, and I've got to be clear, it makes no sense to me, is that he's playing because it's Papali'i's big game. I cannot make sense. I think it's stupid. I think it's ridiculous.
The only thing would be, mate, it might have literally just been... We're talking about being cautious this week.
Yeah.
Last week, it might have been a bit of groin time. Just like, no, we don't need to risk him and just give him the week off. So
yeah, quite possibly. Not a punt I would take with groins of all things when you could win a comp this year.
Yeah.
Bunnies, Jack Whiten returns at centre. Tass goes to the Sting. Walker at 5'8". Bud Sullivan in jersey 14. Gray out of the side. So you got Gray playing fullback in New South Wales Cup. Ty Munro named on the wing. Anything with the Bunnies you want to touch on, mate?
Not so much now, but mate, they could I think they're about to become relevant.
I think because
obviously Cam Graham's been there all season, or most of it. Jack Whiten back, Cody Walker back, as you said. You know, Latrell back and firing, Alex Johnston back on the wing. They're just starting to get their troops back, and they've been winning games and playing good footy with been depleted throughout the year. So they play round 15 and round 18. So not this week, but they're about to be relevant.
Yep, fair shout. Sunday, 4:05, we've got the Jerome Luai Cup, Tigers v Panthers. Skelton returns on the wing and the crowd rejoices. All three Finus are back in the side. Latu, most notably, named at 14. Tony Sakar named on the edge. Seafarth moves to jersey 13. Charlie Murray makes his debut. Shout out to him. For the Panthers, pretty much 1 to 17, but I think they've just named the same team as last week. You've got IPAP, Alamotti, Garner on the extended. I wouldn't be surprised to see some late changes there for the Panthers. Anything on that game you want to touch on?
Yes. Firstly, for context, if Guru ever says some weird thing like the crowd rejoices about a random player like Jarrell Skelton, it's his draft team.
Correct.
It still often catches me out, but it's for his draft team or some failed CBA who's finally got to start 3 years later. The big one there, though, mate, is Api Coruscant's come on the radar in recent weeks, playing big minutes. So there's a couple of things here with Latu Finu. I would assume, and I am only assuming, but with Lockie Galvin gone, that as soon as Latu Finu plays 1 or 2 games, he starts with Jerome Luai, and Heath Mason, who's among the most traded in players this week, drops out. So I think Heath Mason's
one of the most traded in.
He was like number 2. I'll double check.
Fullback only.
Is he?
Yeah.
This is how little I've looked at him.
Had him in my draft team and dropped him midway through last week, and he scored 100. Stoked.
Fullback only. So
yeah,
I'll tell you, they'd be trading to him. Be freaking Tom Turbo, which is also dumb because he's back next week for the major buy round. I know what your mind's doing right now.
Motherfucker.
No,
We'll get to that.
You're the one bloke who doesn't own Ryan Pappenhausen, mate. So it's very different for your circumstances. But Yeah, so top 10% overall, Heath Mason, and maybe the Latu news has changed this, actually.
Yes.
He's 11th now, so since the Latu got named on the bench, that's changed it. But, yeah, I think Mason will drop out once Latu's good to go and start. But just the other one is Api Coruscant, who back-to-back big-minute games, Latu on the bench.
Yep.
If Api were to continue playing 80, he'd be a decent buy, and he's got a very low break-even, but Latu there sort of suggests... Well, I do wonder, like, does Heath Mason just go off after about 50 and Latu comes on?
That's what I thought would happen, yeah.
And Api possibly continues to play 80.
That's what I thought would happen, but...
Interesting.
We'll see. We will see. Monday, 4 p.m, Bulldogs, Parramatta from Accord Stadium. Is this a King's birthday? What is this Monday? What sort of Monday is this? Kat, do you know? The King's birthday this week?
I'll look it up.
Go and find that out. Sorry to wake you up back there.
Well, as in the old sports NRL content game and journalistic background, don't really get public holidays off. So they've never really...
Non-existent.
They haven't been. Used to always working with the telly and still basically working here. So
used to be begging for him as a teach, let me tell you.
Yeah.
Dogs, Kiraz named on the wing, Current on the edge, Galvin on the extended in jersey 23. Following in some of the footsteps of the greatest 23s to ever exist in world sport. Shout out to you, Winston. Parramatta Eels, they're essentially 1 to 17. Williams named at prop. I've got a bit of mail that he might actually start on the right edge in this one.
Who's that?
Like he has, Jack Williams, like he has for the last 9 weeks in fucking row. I don't know why they keep doing this.
Oh, I reckon Chase is catching a few out.
You reckon?
Yeah, he's pretty sneaky with what he does.
Mate, Serraldo's going to fall off his chair when he sees it at 3 p.m. It's going to knock him for 6.
Has he been exclusively on the edge, or has he played minutes in the middle and shifted to edge, though?
No, he starts on the edge and then he shifts in the middle.
And then shifts to middle. So
yeah. So he starts on the right edge in the big 8.
Yeah. And then
terrorises teams and then comes back to the hey diddle diddle for a bit.
Great Supercoach role.
Very good Supercoach.
I got an answer for you on the King's birthday. The day has been celebrated since 1788 when Governor Arthur Phillip declared a holiday to mark the birthday of the King of Great Britain.
Happy birthday, Gutho. Good to see. Roosters on the bye this week. Worth noting, one Sam Walker returning via New South Wales Cup, I've heard.
Is he?
I believe so.
Was he named there? Or you just...
I haven't actually checked if he's been named, but I
got it, mate.
I heard that this afternoon. I'm going to beat you
away.
there, motherfucker. I'm pretty sure he has been named there. So very exciting.
He hasn't been named.
He hasn't been named. Okay, Kat.
Any other good mail?
Out. You know what? I'm not going to rule out him playing still.
It's New South Wales Cup. It's not the NRL. If they don't get named there, they don't really give a shit. They
don't give a shit. They also haven't named to jersey 17, so keep an eye on that situation. All right. Physio. He's back for another week, a blockbuster week. Let's throw to him now.
Alrighty, fellas, let's get into the Supercoach injuries for this week. I think the big one everyone's been asking about, Jacob Kiraz. He's back a couple of weeks earlier than expected. I think there's a little bit of Dr. Gus silly buggers going on here. He initially said 4 to 6 weeks out for Jacob Kiraz. He's back after only missing 2. Look, Gus, he can be a little bit like that with injuries. Love the access that he gives, but sometimes overestimates a little bit. So in terms of calf injuries, they're actually not all that concerning once a player is able to return. So the re-injury risk is around 4 to 5% in that first week. The bigger concern with calf injuries is lingering symptoms during rehab. So you'll often see guys who, and this is the opposite for Kiraz, but you'll often see guys who are, expected to miss 3 weeks. It extends out to 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks because they just can't quite get it right in rehab. Once they're back, that re-injury risk is quite low. It does hang around in that 2 to 4% range in terms of re-injury risk for around 3 to 4 months. So it lingers for the rest of the season, but that's very negligible, that re-injury risk. So look, he's got a massive break even. He's not probably someone who I'd be jumping on to trade back in. But for those who have him, I think if he's named and he actually gets through the week and he starts, you can be pretty confident there. The one thing I will say, the other guy with the calf injury coming back this week, he's a bit cheap. Cody Walker, massive history of calf injuries there. He's a lot older. He's someone who I would definitely want a couple of weeks to look at before I considered buying him. I just think because of his history, because of his age, yeah, I'd want to have a look before I dive in there with Cody Walker. I thought I'd mention my boy Alex Twal with his concussion injuries, mainly around Sukar, starting on an edge. Look, I expect Twal to miss multiple weeks. Concussions can be a little bit unpredictable, but with Twal, he has the history of 6 or 7 concussions over the last few seasons. He missed 6 weeks after a concussion last season. He had 3 concussions the season before. It's been an absolute, just a horrible couple of years for Twal with concussions. So I expect multiple weeks here after suffering concussion. So Sukar could have good job security there if the Tigers, keep with that formation. Then we've got the hamstring injuries: Tui Pilotu, Latu Fainu and Skelton. All 3 you can pretty much copy and paste because they all have significant histories. Tui Pilotu, this is his 2nd one for this year. Latu Fainu, so a lot of people thought it was his hand, but it sounds like what's actually happened is in his broken hand rehab, he's injured his hamstring again, which is, he's had several over the last couple of years. And then Skelton, it's his 2nd big one for the year as well. So multiple hamstring injuries for those guys. Yeah, look, I did consider Tui Pilotu, considering his upside, but now he's only got 1 game, then he's on the bye. I'd rather just watch him this week, see how he goes, then consider after he's bye in round 16. And the other 2 guys, especially Fainu, I think being a bit cheaper, people are considering. He's on the bench, he's got a rank history, no go at the moment for me. Toby Couchman, re-injury risk, he scored well over the weekend, a bit similar to the Dylan Lucas thing, probably a bit worse than the Dylan Lucas situation in that Couchman's already had 2 to 3 weeks off because of an aggravation. So yeah, he's someone who I'm pretty wary of going down that track because there's just plenty of other options in around that 2RF, FRF that don't have that re-injury risk hanging over their head. Jamal Fogarty with the groin. We saw Nico Hines earlier in the year play through a groin injury. These minor groin issues players can play through. It's just the goal kicking. The goal kicking will be the big thing. I would be surprised if he goal kicks this week. But other than that, usually you can get through those minor groin issues pretty well. Adam Fanua-Blake with his AC joint injury. We all saw him in the sling. They more than likely were just managing something that is relatively minor. Look, here's an increased risk of aggravation over the next 3 to 4 weeks. So in game, he could, cop a knock to it, need to come off early, those kind of things. So it's kind of like a splitting hairs kind of situation if you're tossing up him and say an Aaron Clark or, even a Joey Taps who hasn't been great in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it might just be the tiebreaker. If you've got Adam Fanua-Blake, he's not a sell or anything like that at this stage. But if you're looking to buy, it might turn you in another direction just slightly. Jaden Campbell had a bit of a knee issue over the weekend. He banged his knee in like kind of a PCL mechanism way. He actually ruptured his PCL in that knee last season. So it just leaves him more susceptible to aggravation of symptoms in that knee because he doesn't have the PCL kind of providing that stability, or it's very scarred up anyway. So it doesn't take much to aggravate his knee. I'm not concerned about him really at all. There is a slight risk of aggravation, but I'm buying him this week. So that's kind of how confident I am, or confident, but also the upside that he has. I think I'm in there. The 2 big ones, Tommy Turbo, once again, out again this week. Look, I am pretty confident he'll be back this week. I know, Guru, that probably doesn't mean much to you holding him through these last couple of weeks, but yeah, we can only take Manly at what they're saying. And hopefully he's back next week and absolutely killing it for you and any owners out there. I wouldn't blame anyone jumping off him at this point though, because I'm sure it has been frustrating as all hell. And the last one is Reece Walsh. He's got that PCL injury he's coming back from, a bit similar to Jaden Campbell, right? It just leaves him at an increased risk of aggravation. We saw that. He was supposed to play last week and then he aggravated it at training. It just doesn't take much. The threshold for aggravational injury is just lower. So where a knock, previously when he had his PCL, it might cause 3 out of 10 pain. All of a sudden the PCL's not there, it causes 8 out of 10 pain. So it's more aggravated. He can't function as well. He can't play, or he needs to come off early or whatever. So Reece Walsh, even as a point of difference play at this point in time, we usually see coming back from PCL injuries, it take a little bit of time to get back to top performance. Otherwise, guys, we won't talk about Origin at all. That didn't happen. Moving on to Origin 2. And if you need more injury info like this, Magic Sponge podcast is out every Sunday night, Monday morning. Check it out wherever you get your pods. Otherwise, I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, cheers, Fizz. Really hot tip there on Turbo for the 3rd week running. We'll get to that soon. What do you take from that, my friend?
Yeah, we will get to that. Jacob Kiraz was the big one, I think, mate. Just about that calf injury and not sort of a surprised me. I think he said it was like a 5% chance of aggravation, a heap smaller than I thought, and not a major concern with calves. Said they can linger up in terms of re-injury and all that sort of stuff, not too much at all. So, look, at 798k with the break-even of 125, I understand the Parramatta Eels matchup this week is enticing, but regardless, I'm happy to wait a week, but even with a plan to now probably be in next week, that allays a fair bit of fear.
Interesting. Very interesting one. Plays last game of the week too, a little bit to look into there.
Yeah.
Interesting one. All right. Now, Blue Wealth Property, they're back on board. Back in the spot where Blue Wealth Property first came on board too, which is exciting. Oh, it gives me little tingles, Timbo.
OG vibes.
Feel it in my toes.
The OG major sponsor.
Yeah, the OG. How good. Shout out to them. Now, they have got a wealth through property event that's live in Queensland. So learn everything you need to know about building wealth through property and how Blue Wealth use a research process to identify the best investments for your financial future. Get all the info you need to create your wealth through property. So Tony and Morts will be up there. Now, I personally think Queensland could really do with having a little bit of Mortimer in them. If Turvey had that ball at kickoff, he would have kicked it down Spencer's throat and he would have killed him himself. I think this will be really good for Queensland to get a bit of Mortimer in there. A bit of Hayak won't help either, but see some Mortimer will take you a long way.
If Queensland gets some Mortimer in them, we'll never win Origin again. That's the concern.
Yeah.
Should we try and get Mort pulled from this trip?
Well, the positive is, as I've said before, when you arrive at Brisbane Airport, there's a big sign that says no Johns, Fittlers, Mortimers, Lenyus. That's the new sign up there.
Yeah,
just keeps getting longer and longer.
They're in for a treat up there, but
Durkins.
Yeah, I know. Look, mate, that's they're in for a treat as well. Sunny Coast, Brisbane, absolutely booming property areas. Sunshine Coast in particular, that little wheel that I described the other week. Sunny Coast, it was in the boom area. Ooh. At least it was last time I checked. But to confirm that, check this one out.
I love that. So come and say good day to Tony and Morts and the Blue Wealth team. They will be more than happy to chat investment properties, wealth creation, and all things State of Origin. You'll love to see it. Now, the events, Sunshine Coast, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, the 24th of June. That's at the Maroochy RSL. Dare I say, that might be the Maroochy door RSL.
Been there, been to the Maroochy RSL. Fantastic venue.
You have been there, have you?
I have, yeah.
Oh, I love that. Then we've got live in Brisbane, 6 p.m. That's at Rydges in Fortitude Valley, Wednesday, the 25th of June. That's the night after the Tuesday. So back-to-back nights there. Didn't you go to Fortitude Valley when we were at Magic Round?
Yes, I did. No, not this year, but I went last year to Fortitude Valley.
Yeah,
it was busy. It was busy.
I just never leave the Caxton.
No need.
No need.
Matty Buxton's beautiful partner, Court, shout out, tried to get me to Fortitude Valley on the Saturday night at about 2 a.m. and I said, I'm not leaving the Caxton.
Could do better than that.
Yeah, you're going to have to do heaps more.
Please. So reach out to Blue Wealth Property, especially if you're a Queenslander. Put your two heads through your sweater, kiss your dad on the lips and go to the events. It'll be fantastic. And then lose Origin and shit the bed again. I couldn't think of a better week, personally.
Sounds unreal to me.
Blue Wealth is going to use that forever. All right. Beers and Breakevens, the comp. Not giving you the code. It's too late. Unlucky. The winner is the Bubblers, coached by Hayden, big TC fan. He scored 1,457. What a knock. And by the way, not a single sniper team this year at any point. This is a sign of the community we have.
Yeah, look, I know you're trying to plug the community, but you have been able to join it for about 4 weeks. So
you could have thought ahead.
It's not. You could have thought 6 weeks ahead, yeah.
Look at me trying to compliment the community and you're just fucking nitpicking, trying to bring the community back down. Why don't you be one of us?
Trying to get some
Get off your ivory fucking crown, come down from your tower and join the rest of the community.
Shout out to Hayden, big Todd Carney fan.
Huge Todd Carney fan. Geez, that jersey looks good on you. You selling them soon?
I am, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, right. I look all right in mine too.
You do look
They'll
all
be
right.
coming soon.
Show them off a bit, guys.
Yeah, stay tuned. They'll be coming very soon.
They're bloody good gear.
They're
I'm not even just plugging that because we're selling them to the Beers and Braden faithful. They're bloody good
They
gear.
are very good gear. So stay tuned for details coming very, very soon. Put some of your bickies away. Now, we're about to go into our next topic, and I'm going to need something very special from the deep of the studio because normally she's sitting about 2 foot away.
Yeah.
Now she's about 15 foot away. We're going to jump to Timmy's stat deep dive. Lift.
It was
Thanks,
loud.
We have got Jaden Campbell. He's in my team, and I'm looking him as a pod captain this week, so talk to me.
All I heard from Fizz was PCL this, PCL that. He could drop at any minute. Gone. You'd be mad to trade him in. Yeah, no, I want him. I won't be getting him this week because I just don't really want to trade this week. His break even is about 80 odd. 80 on the dot, actually. So just a few numbers around... sorry, let me go down here. Just a bit of a false start here. Jaden Campbell. My control F found Regan Campbell-Gillard, which wasn't getting me far. So games at fullback, grew 93 points against Melbourne in the wet last week. He was outstanding.
Yeah.
Had a bit of a look at games at fullback last season. Pretty ordinary, weirdly. 48, 53, 31 and 82 for an average of just 53.5 points per game. Dug a little deeper and I thought... he's basically quite good when he plays halfback because he gets a lot of traffic sent at him. Not as much as I thought. Averages 15 points per game from tackles. That is when you take out missed tackles as well. I've gone deep.
I'm sure there'd be a big whack of. Yeah.
Yeah. But, I think it was only maybe 2 or 3 or 4 per game sort of thing.
That's good to hear.
I honestly thought he'd make 25-plus tackles per game because he'd just be battered that much. But, 7 games at halfback this season, 72-point per game average. Now, numbers suggest, in a relatively small sample size, but better at halfback, but obviously came out at fullback on the weekend against the Storm and played awesome. I don't think it should deter anyone wanting to trade Campbell in whilst playing fullback, but I thought it made for interesting reading because I thought he would have scored better than that at fullback compared to halfback.
On that note as well, I think there's every chance he doesn't play fullback this week, right? If Brimo comes in, I'd assume... Do you reckon Brimo will play 5'8" and he'll go to... I mean, it's
Honestly,
a lottery.
with Desi, the mad scientist, I don't know. Ordinarily I would have said yes, but then he played so well at fullback last week, I don't know.
That's true. If I'm a betting man, I would say Brimo plays 1, Campbell plays in the halves, but I'm not confident. Well, what does he play, 6?
I don't know.
It's a lottery. Yeah. I looked as a Campbell owner. as long as he's on the field, I think he'll do okay.
He's such a good footballer and especially just such a conducive game to SuperCoach scoring because he racks up stats in so many different areas. He's also an outstanding goal kicker. I don't know what his goal kicking percentages this season, but he hits them bloody well. So, look, I think regardless, don't let it impact your trade-ins, but just food for thought.
$3.40 for the Titans. Any interest? I've got heaps.
To win?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got heaps of interest.
We were all in on him on Bloke on Monday.
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah.
It would if JC tons up this weekend, I won't be shocked in the slightest.
Wrongs are cooked.
Yep. Damien Cook, next one. Cookie Monster.
Few of these players starting to maybe emerge at number 9 up at Coruscant. Damien Cook, I said, a bludger of a position this season. We've known that the SuperCoach scoring is there for Cookie, especially this season and especially right now when Grant's on Origin duty. He's just needed the minutes. So 76 and 79 minutes the past 2 weeks for scores of 79 and 86. He's 489k, a break even of 93. I love owning Damien Cook, or have it in recent years, even under regimes where he wasn't running that much. But in the 3 games prior to those 2 games, he averaged 46 minutes per game. In those 2 games, there was the early injury to Jaden Sewer and to Dylan Egan, which you would imagine probably led to inflated minutes.
Yep.
So people are going to Cookie this week. If we knew the big minutes would continue, I'd buy him. But I just fear that those injuries have impacted and inflated the minutes because there's obviously Jacob Little who takes time off him. So, yes. What are your thoughts?
You've taken the words out of my mouth. My big concerns are that those minutes were inflated by early injuries. So, not for me, but I have got other just bigger fish to fry anyway, but I just don't trust the minutes, personally.
Tell you what, old S. Smith ticking along very nicely. He's still got him?
No,
Don't
I
you?
don't. No, I don't.
Have you got Riley and who?
I got Riley and Tom Starling.
You're a bit nervous about. You did that shit little that you do. That's like a cocky thing, but were you a bit while you sat there just in awe of your boy Owen Paddy killing it last week? Was there also a part of you going, "You're ruining Tom Starling for my Supercoach team"?
I mean, I'm never going to get upset about having the second best hooker in rugby league in my side. He's almost at 545k. I can move him on to whoever the fuck I want over the next few weeks.
Not a trade you want to make though.
Oh, it's not a trade, but it's a trade I knew I'd have to make eventually. When the time
Even
comes,
then,
I'll pull the trigger.
With him playing 75 to 80 minutes each week and no good hookers on the market, Tommy Starling, if he keeps playing those minutes, he's not a rush to sell, but now he might be.
I also, Paddy killed it on the weekend. If you know anything about Owen Paddy, that was no shock. Like, Ricky's aware he's got a fucking gun on his hands.
Yeah.
I don't think he realised on Sunday. It wouldn't shock me if he's still playing 15 minutes a game. Genuinely. I wouldn't do it. I've said that from
I
zero,
agree.
but-
Yeah, I agree, with the chat that Ricky knew what he had the whole time. Like, what he did, it didn't come as a surprise to Ricky or anyone that's ever watched Owen Paddy for more than 15 minutes before. But seriously, the way he played, surely you're sitting there going, do we need Tommy belted around the park for 75, 80 minutes each week? Because when Paddy was coming on for his 15 minutes per game, Starling was going to 13.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's a valid point.
Put it this way, you don't need to change anything as it stands, but just one to monitor, even for sit v starts down the track with Tommy Starling, concerned.
Yeah. I think for the next few weeks, I think Ricky would go, okay, you've all seen this new shiny toy. Like, we were a top 3 team doing my Starling Paddy thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to change it too much, but we'll wait and see. All right, next player on the list. Oh, Jackson Ford, the kid from Gerringong that could. He's grown hands in the last 12 months, and it's a scary sight all of a sudden. Talk to me.
So I had a lot of questions come in around Jackson Ford this week and sort of the impact of Mitch Barnett out. So potentially one of the big winners. He played 58 minutes against the Rabbitohs, scored 70 points with 56 in base. The week prior against the Raiders, 76 points with 56 in base. He's currently averaging 58 points from 49 minutes per game. He's at 540k. He's dual front row 2RF. In games of 55 plus minutes this season, he's averaging 67.25 points with 58.75 in base. So to sort of summarise that, he's priced on a 49-point average. Actually, need to check that, but he's been playing 49 minutes per game. If you can get up to that 55-plus minute mark and improve 5 minutes per game without Mitch Barnett, who was averaging 58 minutes per game, a lot of time to go around, he could be a goer.
Bloody hell, it could be a guy. Even last year when he played through the middle, numbers I've got here, 4 games that he played through the middle for 60-plus minutes. Scores were 57, 50, 51 and 62. Didn't collect a single attacking stat during that period.
And
the real deal.
And to state the obvious, playing through the middle, harder jag attack, but I know we can't say, it's the same as when he's playing on the edge and he's attacking upwards there, but he's a good footballer. He moves well. He can run a good line, however that is. So
he's got a good 9 too.
I think the odd attacking stat will come. So, look, the Warriors have a poor Origin period schedule. There's probably more one for head-to-head players who are interested. And for what it's worth, I would have a look and just see what sort of those minutes look like with Mitch Barnett out. But by next week, but maybe one for round 16. Just, worth keeping an eye on.
It's just 540k, isn't it? Decent amount of bicky.
Decent, but not
crazy.
Silly, not silly.
But it's probably above where I'd want him to be.
The jewel's handy.
The jewel is very handy, for sure. All right, let's move to the next man on the list. Lukey Metcalf, he's come of age, the kid.
Yeah, look, not that I have a ton of deep dive as such around Metcalf, but I do think he was worth a talking point. And 123 against the Bunnies on the weekend, and heaps of people flocked to him. So I'm assuming probably head-to-head players because he misses round 15 and 18. But, people might also, even overall players, be sitting there and their numbers might be looking good for round 15 and 18. They go, it's not the be-all and end-all. I like what I see in Metcalf. Since the early season debacle with a couple of low scores, he hasn't gone lower than 47 since round 3. Yep. And I think that's probably what's attracted the buyers. Obviously, that big 123 as well. He's averaging 64 this season. I personally, Rude, just think you go... I don't see him as being that much better than Dill Brown. I think Munster's better. Jaden Campbell's definitely a better trade target. I think Jaden Campbell's probably the number one in the position. Cam Munster, he's about to miss a string of games with Origin duty and a very likely, well, a good chance of rest in round 16. But, yeah, he's going good, but I don't think he's a buy.
I don't think he's a buy either. I think you also need to keep in mind with Metcalf and, hopefully it keeps going, but he's been playing in a red-hot team that builds their attack around him. That's been going good the whole year. Like, if the Warriors start to struggle for a bit of form and whatnot, I do think it could change quickly on Metcalf.
I 100% think that there could still be a 20 or a 25 in there. Like, he's the fifth most traded in player.
Really?
Amongst top-ranked teams, yeah. Top 10%.
I'll tell you what, put it this way. If he scored 60 on the weekend, is he that guy?
No.
No, there's no fucking way.
So he goes Sharks this week. Tough one. Into a bye, into Penrith. I do admit that'll be a good game because it looks like Penrith will mass rest. It's in New Zealand, so that actually bodes really well for him.
Yep.
Broncos round 17 at Suncorp. That's probably fine, to be honest, the way they're going. A bye. Jeez, I've got the Warriors draw post Origin, post round 18. Tigers, Knights, Titans, Dolphins, Dogs, Dragons, Titans, Eels, Manly. Tell you what, there's your head-to-head finals draw, isn't it? Whew.
Round 16 onwards, I'm happy to have a little Damien Cook at him, but
What's
not
his break
this
even?
week.
Breakeven's 22. Yeah, like Sharkies, Cronulla.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Not for me. And look, I think that draw's very appealing. I personally can't see a world where I'm spending one of my last 17 trades taking a punt on Metcalf.
I don't know either.
So, yeah. Get it. Back you if you do it.
I've broken players before, and I'll break him again.
You know I'll break him again.
And Metcalf, the script's just written on that one.
Yes,
so I'm
without a
not
doubt.
even going to tempt fate.
Leave the guy alone. Tamale. Hot, spicy tamale. Just keeps doing the damn thing, breaking tackles at will. Talk to me.
Do you still have him?
Yes, I do. Do you? No, you don't know.
No. I got max value out of him and all that, so it was all fine. But, mate, with every week that he plays, you just sit there going, my question here is, do you need to trade? Because he's had double-digit points in tackle bust in 9 of his last 10 games. He had 24 runs against the Roosters, averaging 64 points per game this season. He's only scored 6 tries, which isn't bad by any means, but in a red-hot Raiders side, could easily have been more, and has 1 try assist. I do believe he lacks the attacking upside on that left wing because it doesn't get a lot of quality attacking ball, but I also don't think it matters. So, I think when you look at a guy like Lomax or Val Holmes or a Kiraz where, on a good week they can knock out 140 or 150.
Yep.
But the way he's going with the round 18 coverage, a bit of he's got the round 16 coverage, which looks very tricky. You certainly don't need to move him on until round 19, if at all. Jeez, he's going good.
He scored below 57 once in the last 7 weeks.
Yeah.
Can't ask for much more than that. I'm a very happy holder. And he's a guy that, I play him each week, and I know there's a risk I could get a 20, but I also know. And, I still feel like...
A 20 in tackle busts.
Yeah, but, he'll pull a 130, I reckon, at some point over the next few weeks. He's destined to, I think.
I mean, the way he's scoring, if he scores a double with line breaks on both, it could be it.
If something was to happen, a suspension or an injury or something to Seb Chris, and just something changed on that edge, it'd get very interesting very quickly. Maybe another one to Ethan Strange.
I still don't like the attacking opportunities on the edge. He, as we've said all the time, Tony, he just goes looking for shit and makes things happen because he's so good. But yeah, look, I mean, the point is if you're an owner, you get to round 19 and you reassess things if you move to a Lomax or a Val or a Kiraz or whoever it might be. But he's given owners no reason to sell we probably thought he would.
And I agree. I don't love the attacking options over there, but he scored 4 tries in 7 weeks. It's not bad.
Killing it.
I'm happy. I'm very, very happy to have him. Round 16's a tricky one, is it? Talk to me why. Well, which team's on the bye that week?
Manly, Cronulla, Doggies, I believe it is. Origin back up from Perth. I think we are going to see lots of restings post-Origin 2.
Yep.
You know, it'll depend on how stacked teams are. Sorry, it's the Doggies, the Dragons, and Manly. Sharks play. Thank God.
I was going to say, that's great for you if Sharkies aren't playing.
So, yeah, 3, relatively key teams. But, yeah, coming from Perth, we already know Penrith are likely to rest, so Nathan Cleary being the big one there. There's just... I think it's going to be a bloody tough week, to be honest. Even I look at round 13, that first mini bye round, which didn't look like it was going to be too difficult. I know people were scratching for numbers and scraping for numbers that week, myself included. I got there, but it wasn't easy. This week looks, and just about everyone backed up. This round 16, I reckon it's going to do some damage, and that's before any potential injuries that may or may not occur, or suspensions.
I'm just eyeballing my team now for round 16. Out of my entire squad, I'm missing 3 players. King Tonga, Lawson and Garrick. That's it.
You don't have Ola.
Don't have Ola Kawatu.
Lehigh, obviously.
Don't have Lehigh.
Like Ola's heavily owned. Lehigh's up to 37% now.
Even of my guys, like if Tino gets rested, I've got 3 available. Like I've got Hosking and Eli Katara I can chuck in there. Cleary gets rested, I just put Hines in. My 3 fullbacks, Drinkwater, Pappy, Tedesco, I don't think they'll feature. I'm actually sweet for 16.
That's great.
Lomax, he might drop out, but yeah,
that's good. People check your numbers out. As I said, every team's set up differently, and lots of people dodge them, but I think it's going to just be a tough week.
Yeah, fair shout. All right, that's us done and dusted on the deep dive. Now, trades, will we fucking unfold my origami shit sandwich this week?
We both got some unfolding to do, mate.
Yeah? Where do you want to start?
Mine's easier, so we'll do me.
Okay.
Not heaps easier, but I am just looking at going, as I said, like I wanted Keon last week, couldn't afford him and Dylan Lucas. Got Dylan Lucas, he got a mad 50 for me, and Keon scored and got 110 or so. I'm not filthy, like, come on. So then this week I can go, and the plan all along was to go Toya after that big price rise to Keon. A lot skinnier doing that than I thought because of Keon's score, but 8,000 left in the bank. I can do that in one trade. That's the only trade I want to make, and I threw this to Desi and Spy on Playbook, mate, but the injury to Mitch Barnett has me thinking that Keon is right in the frame for the Blues. If he were to get selected, he would miss round 15, 18 and 19 because they're on the bye in round 19. So he'd play this week, then he'd still be backing up from Origin coming from Perth on the Saturday against Melbourne. Probably plays, but I would assume at the very least lesser minutes, if at all. Dolphins round 17, fine. If he were to replace Mitch Barnett, there's a huge anti-pot opportunity, at least till round 20, and then you can get him in then. But what do you think? I know, who do you think plays for the Blues?
Stefano.
Yeah.
Who do I think should play? Keon.
Yeah, me too.
Mate, Payne Haas was going to be ruled out last week and they were going to go Stefano. They're sure as shit going to go in if Mitch Barnett's ruled out, in my opinion. I don't think it's the right call, but I think that they have built a culture within that group that I almost reckon it sends a poor message within that 4 walls if they don't go Stefano, realistically. So I'd actually be shocked if it's not Stefano. I don't love it, but I'd be shocked if it's not Stefano.
Yeah. And look, and I feel they'll go the same way as well. Like, even like what I will say, I know he played 27 minutes, but a week or 2 ago, Stefano was, in line to replace Haas if injured. Numbers don't tell the whole story. But like, Stefano goes to the Gold Coast, plays 27 minutes and runs 9 times for 102 metres. Keon goes against Warriors, one of the best packs in the competition at the moment, absolutely blitzes it, plays 80, scores a great try. It's just like, in my mind, I know it's in your mind as well, these two are worlds apart at the moment.
Yeah, and I think that if Laurie Daly was left to his own devices, I think he actually makes the decision we're saying. But I think Craig Bellamy's got for him to be in there in the first place, I think Craig Bellamy's got a big influence on him. Which, I mean, if you're going to listen to me and you or Craig Bellamy, I know who I'd probably fucking listen to, but I can't see him missing. Yeah. I reckon Keon needs another injury to get in.
So, yeah, based on that and do a bit of digging this week, see what we can find out, but more than likely my one trade for the week will be Keon coming in for Rob Toya. I shift Dylan Lucas down to centre, which is also nice. And
All
look,
right.
as I said, if Kellen did play Origin, I don't think it'd be massive minutes. It's not the end of the world, but
Yes.
it's not ideal.
Yeah, fair. All right, my situation this weekend. I had a chat to Timbo sitting next to me in the lift. He opened my eyes to a few things. And I am thinking this week I need to make a big decision. I've got Turbo. I'm done. I'm fucking done. It's cost me money. It's cost me time.
Heaps of sleep.
Cost me sleep. I've been called some really mean things on socials off the back of it. I think I'm done. I think I'm jumping ship. Nice family, cook barbecues and whatnot. I don't think it's for me anymore. So I'm thinking I'm going to sell Turbo. Now, what I wanted to do was go straight to Pappy. Every single season I've sat at this desk up there across the road, and there's always been one dude every year that I don't have that absolutely fucks me up and ruins my season. Usually you're with me in that boat and we don't have the same guy and we're going into battle together on the antipod. Not the case this year. You've got Pappy, and I think if I'm going to get close to you, I need to make up ground elsewhere. I think not owning Pappy isn't the way to do it. So I need to get Pappy in. My original thoughts was to trade James Tedesco there. You then pointed out to me that maybe going early on a Lawson to free up cash to go Turbo to Pappy is the play. I'm leaning towards doing that right now. So I'm thinking I'm going to go Toya to Lawson, go a week early, free up 400K or something. That will allow me to go Turbo to Pappy, which will give me a 3-prong fullback flex attack of Drinky, Teddy, Pappy, which I think is probably the play for me. It'll leave me with 18 trades, which I don't love, which doesn't feel like many, but you mentioned before that Desmond and Spy, was it?
Spy were like 16, 17 or 17 and 18 or something. So there's people out there that have gone pretty hard.
Which fills my cup a little bit, but what pours it out instantly is that you've still got 20, which I don't love. But it's all good and well to have trades. You've got to do the right things with them, I've learned over the years.
Over the last month, I hath not.
It hasn't been your strong suit. That's what I'm thinking. Do you think that's my best play?
I do. I think the concept of selling Tedesco is ridiculous. That
was very pointed.
Yeah.
That's fine. You could have said you don't like it. That would have been fine.
Yeah. Arguably the best fullback in SuperCoach. Certainly has been for a number of years. And durable, plays round 15, plays round 18. Misses obviously this week in round 17, the 2 bye rounds when they're the only team on the bye, so you can cop that. I agree on all fronts. I think you need Pappy. I think you're just risking getting blown out of the park by not having him.
Yeah.
For the record, for people out there with Tom Trbojevic, I'd be holding. I think that, look, he comes back next week. We know what he can do, even on one leg. We know he can score well. We've seen him do it already this season. I think he's a hold. You hold him through 15 and 18 and ride it. Their draw to come, Manly is very good as well.
Yep.
But everyone else owns Pappenhausen. So I think a Turbo to Pappy move, especially when you're saving Tedesco as a result. I wish I didn't part this wisdom onto you, Roo. However, I am your friend for the integrity of this show. Sometimes I need to look out for you.
I appreciate that.
And I believe that is the play.
Now, is there a chance I will trade Turbo back in a few weeks' time? Yes. Yes, there is. But I think that the last few weeks, I think I lost 300K and got 66 points. I think it's been worthwhile. I think it's been a journey that I'm glad I went on. It's been a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
It's been a rugby league fucking disaster, Tim. It has been awful to watch how it's all played out. So I'm jumping ship. I'm making moves. Can I just read to you the names that feature in my CTW and fullback?
Yeah, talk to me.
Can I just make sure you're sitting down at home? Maybe get a wet towel. Herbie Farmworth, Fletcher Sharp, the Cessnock Curtin, Ruben Garrick, Zach Lomax, Hot Tamale, Billy Smith, Nathan Lawson. At fullback, Scott Drinkwater, James Tedesco at fullback, and Ryan Pappenhausen in the flags.
It's good.
My boys are ready to go.
Yeah.
Read me yours. Hit me.
Well, you're missing one key name.
Who?
C. Tarasi.
Yeah, true.
So I've got Dill Lucas, Fletcher Sharp, Ruben Garrick, Connor Tracy, Tom Jenkins, who will become probably a Kiraz next week. Ramian, Billy Smith, and then I've got Pappy, Teddy, Drinky.
Honestly, my CDWs are so stacked, can't even fit Dill Lucas in there. I just can't do it. I can't fit him in there right now. He's stuck in 2 RFs. It's too exclusive down there in the CT dubs. That's how good they're going.
That's right. That's good for you, mate.
We set a standard here at the Grizzlies. I was going to say Paddy and Kelmer. At the Grizzlies, there is a high standard that Dill Lucas, I don't know.
What? An 11K overall standard? Standards
3 trophies, baby. Read the sleeve, motherfucker.
Boys aren't buying in, I'll tell you that much.
They ain't buying in. All right. Are we sit v starts? Mate, mine are pretty straightforward this week. I don't have to make too many decisions, thank you.
A bit light on depth elsewhere.
And I'm sitting in a great spot. I'm leaving out Riley Smith. Corey Horsburgh might not get a bait this weekend, unfortunately. He might be the unluckiest man to miss out. Would you play Horsburgh or Tamale?
Probably Tamale. I haven't lined up the edges as such, but Tamale left, the Bunnies right at Campbell Graham.
Campbell Graham
defends well.
Yeah.
But shit's changed. Well, I mean, Jack White's come back on the other edge, so make of it what you will. I think Tamale. I think you're going to go the upside.
I think you've got to
right?
go the upside.
The way he's playing, it's still a good matchup against the Bunnies. I mean, the thing is, Horse was playing for an Origin jersey, so I think he's going big. And I think off the back of Ricky, probably use him decent minutes. But I think you chase the upside Tamale, right? 2 p.m.
We find out Nathan Lawson's playing left wing. Does he come into calculations or not? Dolphins?
Nah.
Suncorp?
Nah.
Fast track?
Nah.
Left side, strong side? Remember the Titans? Remember the Dragons?
Yeah.
We're talking you around at all?
No.
No.
I mean, I don't own him yet, so.
Yeah. Ooh, that makes me more interested. I'll be one of the few that will own him.
Please play Nathan Lawson this week.
All right. What about sit v starts for you, mate? Any interesting conversations you want to have?
That we forgot in TLT, Royce Hunt dropped New South Wales Cup. One of the great piece of news for the Cooma Stallions, who now don't have to worry about him.
He's been dropped, has he?
Yeah. Do you have him?
No, you had him for ages. You still got him?
I still do.
Jesus. I don't think I ever owned him.
Well, not most. People tend to either have like a Hunt or like a Tui Simpkins.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Oh, you're in the nuff business now, are you, my friend?
Thank you.
I knew we'd get him over the line.
Well, I didn't go out of my way to get enough. I kind of wish I did because I wouldn't have his AE lingering. Yeah, the flex is great, but I'd still prefer him not come in as my flex and drop straight out. Anyway, that's fantastic news. He's playing New South Wales Cup, so don't have that headache if I want to loop. Mate, my sit B starts. My bench will probably be AFB, Nickera, Jerome Hughes, Dill Brown. I'm not playing Teddy on the bye. I'm not playing Ramian, Tom Jenkins, who, for what it's worth, I know he's outside McLean, but the matchup against the Tigers, I don't hate him as a player at all. Yeah. I'm not playing Hosking, and then I've got Sandon Smith at hooker, so I've got to play Riley Smith. So the only one that I would tinker with is maybe a Zach Hosking over Dill Brown. Brown's got the doggies, packed out Acor Stadium, but I don't mind Hosking. I know I had some numbers on Playbook, but he's been all base last 2 weeks. He's averaged about 70 minutes. He's looked likely at times. Yeah, it's basically Brown v Hosking. What do you reckon?
I've got no issue with playing Hosking, but I would go Brown. I think you chase the upside there. Who's Parramatta got?
The doggies.
I reckon they'll pull an upset there. I reckon all this Galvin stuff might come to bite Canterbury on the arse this week. I think Parramatta will be really up for this one. I think there's a few upsets looming this weekend.
They could win like 8-4.
They could. There's every chance they do. Yeah. I also think, mate, last week, all the ball went to the left. Yeah. I don't know if that was something they just identified in the Panthers, but geez, they got a lot of ball down that left side. Left edge, Josh Adokar against his old club, Lockie Galvin's dog doom. I reckon there's a little something.
Oh, and then my big one is, I mean, you've just called an upset, but so my CT dub, like I've got Lucas, Sharp, Garrick, and I think I'm going to play Tracy over Jenkins and Ramian. Monday, Parramatta.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Yeah. Now, for me and the other 36.2% of super coaches in the top 5% this weekend, I'm in the top 5%. I think just. King Tongia, I need him to do something.
You got him?
Yep.
I was like, geez, when you read out his CT double, like, something's got to give somewhere.
Something's got to give. Yeah, no, something's definitely giving. Old LKT.
So where have you got him? 5'8"?
5'8". He's at 267K already, and his break-even's 23. So if he can score, I don't know, 400 this week, that'd be mad.
That cash must have facilitated something good for you.
It did. Can't remember what it was, but it did. It might have been a Dill Lucas. No, I probably already had him.
You sold Munster?
Yeah, I sold Munster for him. I can't remember who I brought in.
Interesting.
Maybe I went to Turbo and someone. Yeah, I can't remember.
So you got Campbell and King Tonga.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, so I do need him to make a little bit more than 60K ideally.
You do, but to be honest, mate, he'll be in your 13 for, well, potentially not, but for round 15 and round 18. They're the 2 weeks you go, mate. A bit of money would be nice, but just give me 50 points those weeks.
I'd be stoked if you gave me 50 points on any weeks. That'd be great. So yeah, little hope and a prayer on that one. Capitanos. I have recently acquired a young Ryan Pappenhausen. So I'll be looking at maybe a VC on him, but I don't mind a VC on JC. I've got a feeling about Jaden Campbell this week. I don't have the balls to captain him, but if it's raining in Melbourne, I could get scared off him, and I could be looking at a JC
if you
VC.
got Pappy and he scored 200 and you could captaincy on him.
Yeah, that would happen to moi. I wouldn't rule it out, but yeah, and then I'm probably thinking a Nath Cleary captaincy against the Balmain Tigers.
Yep, VC Pat for me, C Nathan Cleary for me also, and I don't see that changing.
Nothing else that appeals to you? What if you weren't a Pappy owner? Who then jumps out at you all of a sudden? Who are you?
If I wasn't a Pappy owner...
If you're a Lehigh owner, do you look at him? Thursday night, Newcastle?
Nah. Like, if you didn't own Pappy, like, the Knights have the third best D in the NRL. Or it might even be second.
Okay.
I think it's third.
Yeah.
So, I think they're better matchups. I think like a Cam Munster as a VC. Like, if you had Jaden Campbell and Cleary, I think what you said, Campbell VC into Cleary is very good. Terrell May's the easy one. If you want to go a flyer on someone into a Terrell May as captain, that's an obvious one. Yeah, but I'll get the numbers up, mate. I think everyone owns Pappenhausen.
It's just me.
It's
99.9%.
I think it's just you.
It's just ticked over to 100 3 minutes ago when I traded him in.
So in the top 10% ranked overall, he's at, there you go, there's a few with you, 91.5%.
That's still pretty high.
In the top 1%, he's at 97.5% ownership.
That's mad.
Yeah, so as you said, not
Won't
one
explain why I'm not in that 1%.
not one you want to anti-pot, I don't think.
No. So yeah, we've had to bite the bullet on that one. Tried to get a little bit too cute for the 4th year in a row. All right, we done and dusted?
We are, mate.
How good. Shout out to Lontel guys. Link is in the description. Go and check it out. Go check out your week's free internet. Then make a decision off the back of that. And Blue Wealth Property, they're doing some shows up there in Queensland. So make sure you get along to those. They will be sensational. Give you Queenslanders some joy up there. Something to enjoy. Something to celebrate.
Just before we move on,
yeah,
she feels like she's in another postcode over there.
I do.
Kat, we've just ignored her while we dribbled shit for 50 minutes straight because she's so far away.
Yeah, is there anything you want to throw up?
Well,
any
trades.
questions?
What are you
Anything?
thinking?
Trades? What are you thinking?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I have 25 trades though, guys.
I'm glad we came over to her.
Yeah, I have 25. So I really need to do something.
25?
Yeah. I've got 25 trades and 2 boosts left.
How many rounds are left?
Like 14 something?
Well, no, we only get. Oh yeah, sweet, 14.
Yeah, I'm going to make some moves this week. I'll report back. I will report back.
I'm glad we did that.
Yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, thanks for that.
Yeah, no,
that was
all
good gear by you.
Just trying to include
I
Kat.
genuinely can't even see her.
Yeah,
the light and everything. All right. Shout out to Kempy for having us back at the old spiritual home. So I come back to Lang Park.
It is. You would, you Queenslander.
Please, you're a dickhead. All right. Pleasure as always. Late show incoming soon. And fuck me, it's going to be late.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Love you all dearly. Mama.